Welcome everyone, it's Fury here. As always, check this website for more tutorials. I'm actually gonna look into this, what's new here. Is it still? Yes, it's still just only my tutorials, but you probably have some more tutorials. Yes, there is other guy doing tutorials here. Okay, so we're back here. I'm gonna just quickly run the game to show you how things are with what we were left off with the last video. So we are able to select these items, right? So we have 1 2 1 2 2 1 2 1 2. So it's cool. And now yeah, we can actually implement some dropping of the item, so it's not gonna be very difficult, not difficult at all. We just have to prepare it somehow. To prepare it, we would have to so what we're gonna just follow what we do when we pick it up. Okay, with the item stuff. So let's do drop item. Now if get inventory has or get selected item, if you know in inventory there is selected item, okay, let's do it like as item component p selected item. We have to do this method in here because it's private. Selected item is private, so we don't really want to change this value from outside of this component, so that's why it's private. We just want to read it sometimes when we need to. Let's put it here. Okay, let's put underneath that one. So as item component get selected item return p selected item. That's all we needed. And now, as you can see, you grab the selected item. If we have selected item, then p selected item drop. We're not gonna do anything here, and with the dropping, we're gonna go to actually item component. When we have pickup, we also want to have virtual void drop. And okay, this, that, and bang, there it is. Dropping item, not a big deal at all, but so if we don't have owner, then return. If this item doesn't have owner, then dropping it's just pointless. Now we have owner. We gotta, you know, what is actually going on with the item when it's on the player. At the moment of dropping, the item is gonna be in the player's hand, so we would have to detach this from hand and do all this stuff like nullify, so it doesn't have, so make sure that the item doesn't have owner anymore, and blah blah blah. So in this case we're gonna do let me think. We should actually, okay, detach this from players hands, obviously. So let's do component, player component, p owner player, and p owner entity get component c player component, and now p owner player, and let's do get inventory detach from hand, and then we're gonna push this item away from the player. So let's probably do what we can do. Let's do MP entity, I guess. Let's get physical entity action impulse, p action impulse. Now the impulse will be this way. Oh shit. And impulse will be impulse simply, and which direction you actually wanna push this and how hard. In this case, we're just gonna do p owner entity get forward direction, so we get the forward direction where the player is looking at, and we will multiply it by like 10, and then in the end p owner entity equals null pointer. So this item doesn't have entity anymore. Alrighty. Oh, game deal. Yes, it's because my sandbox, as always, did not close properly. Oh yeah, and actually it should probably work. We will see. Now I'm gonna press J and nothing happens, so it doesn't crash, so we did it properly. Now I'm gonna have this item here and J, nothing. Now I press J and item is dropped. And it's dropped properly, not a problem at all. And you can't see it because, as I say, this sword is invisible from one side, as you can see here. This model is fucked up. But yes, it works actually. Impulse works. Let's maybe do a little bit less, a little bit smaller impulse, like maybe 4. And in this case, we should actually what we should do. Oh, I'm gonna check something because we have to actually stop filtering this collision. I'll have to see how to disable filtering, collision filtering, because I did it some time ago, but I don't remember. Was it? Okay, doesn't matter. I'm not gonna be playing around and wasting your time here. I'm gonna disable filtering collision later, and in the next video I'm gonna show you how to do this. Okay, so as you can see, dropping item works properly, not a problem at all. And yeah, so what can we do? Oh yeah, there is one more. There is one more thing actually. We should get rid of this item from the inventory. So in the end, I'm gonna do p owner player get inventory remove item quick access. Okay, let's do p this. So we're gonna remove item from quick access. But that's not the only thing. There is something else that we should actually remove this item from our inventory in UI, so from our Flash actually. I'm gonna go to libraries here because I don't remember how we created this inventory. It's right here, and the way it works is, do we have? Yeah, we have remove item quick access method over here. We already prepared this, so it's very fucking cool, I guess. Yep. So back in here. So when we add item to inventory, we actually call this stuff. But when we wanna drop it or remove it from inventory, we don't do anything. So remove item. Let me check something. Remove item quick access. Okay. So okay. So I guess here we should remove remove the actual item from quick access slots, and like this. And what functions we had in this UI? We have remove quick, we remove item quick access, and we pass the slot ID to it. So we remove that and slot ID. Index in this case, so that's our slot ID, and the method name is remove item quick access. But also we have to make sure that we remove it from when we call this method, because sometimes we wanna remove it by slot and sometimes we wanna remove it by item. So we have to handle both of these. I guess. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, it's not that simple actually, because what's gonna happen if we... Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna look into something else. Events. Set item slot, and it calls set item quick access slot. Let's see what it does. Okay, so it's not actually calling these methods. So okay, I'm gonna try it out now. If when I drop the item, if it's actually gonna get removed from our inventory, from visual side of it inventory, I guess. So from here, put it down here, and 1 and J, bang, is removed. And I'm gonna pick up some other sword and see if actually I can put it. Okay, I can do. Yep, it's awesome. It works very well, and I'm happy about it. The other stuff we should do now, I guess it's... Yeah, I think it's... Okay, let me think. What should we do next? Do you remember we had some activate slot method in inventory? I don't remember what it does, but I think it was highlighting something. So let's fucking try it. Why not? Let's copy this, and where we have select slot, or yeah, select slot. But it's based on the slot ID, so let's do deselect first. Selected item. So before we nullify selected item, slot ID, let's do get item quick access slot p selected item. Okay, that's the way we're gonna just send it to, and we're gonna deactivate slot. And similar thing we're gonna do with the selection of an item. In this case, we can put it on the bottom. Quick access slot, select item, and now let's get if we have activate slot. Let's see what it does, because I don't remember if we had some highlight system for it. You know, if we could actually, if we're actually into. Okay, I'm gonna select this now. Oh, very cool. We have this green tint to it. So put another one here. Okay, bang, bang. So we switch between them and they shine green over here, which is very, very cool, and I like it a lot, really. Very cool, I like it. And I'm gonna leave it this way. In this case, okay, we have the problem will be when I actually drop the item. I drop the item and detach from hand and remove quick access, but shit. Okay, so we should do here method for it as item component, or let's just do, no, we can't. Set selected, no, we don't it. Void set selected item. This way, and we're gonna do p selected item equals p new selected item. The reason why I do it is that when I drop the item, obviously selected item, we have to make sure that the selected item is nullified, and we actually deselect it. Or no, okay, I changed my mind. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna publish the select item method. It's gonna be public here, and this way I can, when I drop the item, blah blah blah, it does all the shit, detaching from hand, impulse and stuff, remove it from the inventory, but also deselect item. But we should do it after. Okay, this way. So with deselect item is gonna make, if we drop the item that is shining green, then it's gonna, you know, disable this shiny stuff. So it's not gonna be active anymore. Okay. What I'm talking about is here, press 1 and J, and now you can see Okay, it got back to my back. I know why actually. Damn it, damn it. Okay, because this method is actually later on attaching this to back, so we can't do this way. We should provide another method for this deselecting, like void deselect UI item, let's say, or what can we do? Deselect item remote, let's call it this way. I know it's not really good naming for it, but we're gonna need to shit. Yeah, no, we're not gonna need to shit. It's just here. Select item, attach from hand, attach to back, it disappearing from here, and that's it. Pretty much it. I know I copied the code, which I should not do, but I don't have time in this video to play around with this too much. So select item remote. So now we should be able to drop the item and have this green tint disappear. Alrighty, it's good. It works pretty well. I think the thing that we did not handle yet is this. Let me show you that. When I grab the sword and I attach it to the player's back and I put it in hand and I open up the inventory and I grab it from here, he still has this item in hands. Okay, so I mean, yeah, okay, it disappears when I put it there, but the item is still selected, or the window is still selected. So we should handle that too. So when I set item slot, it goes here. When I set quick access slot or in the normal slot, we should actually, grab this item away from there. So let's see what it does. The item slot and whatever. Okay, so here we're gonna handle something else. So here we're gonna do if p item to move is the selected item. In this case, if we're trying to move away the selected item, then we should deselect it. Deselect item. We don't need to do it remotely anymore. We're just gonna do deselect item. Okay, we can do it remotely because we have this. Okay, so let's do remote, and let's put this stuff on the top. So let's do deselect item, and also if we set item quick access slot, then we also wanna, if p item to move is the selected item, then deselected. I'm not sure how it's gonna turn out. It could be that it still has some bugs, but we'll see. We'll see. It could even crash because I did not check properly logic behind all that. Alrighty, here it is. Now I open up inventory, I grab this item, put it there, and it's deselected. And it's good, it's good. Now I put it in the other slot here, let's say. And it's also deselected. So you could have, if you put it in the other quick access slot, then it's still selected in the other slot, but I don't think it's good. Maybe later, that kind of logic we can handle later on. At the moment we have this, deselecting stuff. What else do we have? I think it's pretty cool at the moment. It looks pretty well. Okay, so we're gonna now go to the editor, but I'm gonna go to the editor through this, so I'm not gonna have to close it from the processes of the system, because it's gonna get closed along with the debug process. So okay, we have this stuff here, example map, and I'm gonna just completely remove it from here. Blade of Fury items, Blade of Fury. Okay, remove Blades of Fury. I'll leave the spawn point here. Okay. I want to check if this item, if the sword can actually collide with anything, and in this case we're gonna just let's do maybe brush. Are these items static? Oh, let's do maybe geometry mesh. Put the mesh here. Properties, render collider, file for it. Let's do objects, default, primitive sphere. This way. Is it on the ground? Yes, it's a little bit above. Put it above the ground a little bit. And now, we should have mass of it. Let's put to like 50. So it's probably not gonna be. Is it static mesh or? Ooh, it doesn't even have collision. Let's see how it was to create the. Oh yeah, there was physics to it. Add component, physics. Player component, physics. Rigid body. Enable by default. Send collision signal, doesn't matter. I actually need this. Okay, now it's probably on the ground already. Okay. So our big ball is there. It's not moving, and it's fine. I'm also gonna put one sword is enough. Blade of Fury here. So I'm gonna try to somehow touch. I know it sounds gayish, but I'm gonna try to touch this fucking ball using The Blade of Fury. I'm not sure if I can achieve that. Oh, where are you? Blade of Fury. Can I actually touch it? Probably not, but not a big deal. I'm gonna just, rotate the attachment. Not a deal at all. The thing is now that the okay, I just select item remote, blah blah blah. I'm gonna close up all of these documents and go once again. Here, so melee weapon. I guess it was melee weapon. Process event. Oops. Okay. Did it have some kind of another bait 64 entity event collision case blah 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 break. Now we're gonna go case entity event collision break or not. The normal items not always want to pick up the collision, so we're gonna handle this for the melee weapon. Process event class case. Here we're gonna put switch event and that's it. So we're gonna handle this in our melee weapon. So let's first of all cry log always see if the collision is picked up. Make sure that the collision is picked up at all. Yeah, as you can see, it's patterning messages in here, so collision is all pretty much constantly going on. Let me just see something on the other screen. As always, I need some help with my other project, so okay, I have this stuff here. Okay, so now to pick up the collision with some certain, or see what did we collide with, we have to do this. Event physics collision. Now go physics collision. Reinterpret cast event physics collision and event and param 0. That's the way we pick up what this is pointed to what we actually collided with. Now if this is some valid collision proxy, then we check the physical entity. Holy shit. So this is information what two entities collided with each other. So we have the first one, we turn it into entity, should do this entity equals environment entity system get entity by physics or from physics, and now we're gonna do this entity physics. Cool. This entity collider. or this entity, let's say. This is just to make sure that this, entity is physical entity, collider, physics equals physics collision, p entity. Penetration. Do you like penetration? P entity number 1. Now I entity p collider entity environment p entity system get entity from physics p collider physics. Now if p collider p collider entity. So we actually check if this is valid entity. That's all it is. If it is a valid entity, our collider is valid entity. And just to make sure that a p collider entity is not MP entity. So that's the way we make sure it's not colliding with itself, which probably should not happen, but so now Crylog always collider name is p collider entity get class, maybe get name. This is the way we're gonna see what we're actually colliding with. It's not gonna probably call it for the terrain collision, because terrain is not considered as a entity. So okay, here this it's not colliding with me because we have collision filter. So collider name entity. So we actually it actually collided with this ball, which is cool. In this case, we're just gonna grab this p collider entity action or get physics or physics action impulse to make sure that p collider entity. Oh yeah, it actually has. I don't have to check this because I already checked this by using that impulse. So let's do p impulse just to show you that our collision works. Impulse p action impulse sorry about that. And now impulse is let's do okay, let's check if actually if p owner entity, if this our sword or other melee weapon component has owner. Yeah, no, I'm just making sure not to make not so it doesn't crash. P owner entity get forward direction times 100, something like this. Whoopsie. So it should apply some fucking awesome impulse, but I think 100 is too much because this ball is just 50 kilos heavy, has just 50 kilo weight, I mean. And but we will see. Have our sword here. I'm gonna approach this point so it goes like fucking hard, yeah. So the collision is picked up. So that's the way. If it collides with other players, you're gonna go like your collider entity apply damage. That if we prepare a function like this, and it's gonna apply damage. So what if we do 1000 here? So that's the way the collision for the melee weapons should be done in Cryengine. Which is very, very cool. Now 1000, so you should go like crazy, or like this. So I should see it picks up the forward direction of my player and blah blah blah. I could do like maybe 0f and 100f floating points, and so that should probably, I think, push it upwards a lot. Well, just like if you wanted to jump. Bang. That's how it goes. That's how our sword works. It's enough if I just touch it with the sword. That's how it goes. Alright, we're gonna handle some, other stuff in the next videos, but for now I gotta finish this. And yeah, so see you in the next video. Okay, so what we should do now, we should filter the collision, stop filtering collision when item is dropped, because we obviously get rid of this item from player's inventory, so it's completely unrelated to this player anymore. So in this case we're gonna disable this collision filtering, so player can still collide with this object later on. So let me check something out. Okay, so we're gonna put it over here after detaching from hand and before applying impulse. We're gonna call it stop ignoring collision with owner. And now similar thing to this, I'm gonna copy this and paste here. The only difference will be that owner entity, make sure that you do this before you nullify owner entity, otherwise it's gonna be null pointer and it's gonna crash at this point. Okay, so collision class, we get the collision class of the owner of this item. And now ignoring collision, this is beat flags, so the thing to like disable this beat or turn it off, that is the way to do that properly. So that's the way you assign, you say, hey, this beat is no longer valid for this collision ignoring stuff. So yeah, should build up, and that should be it for the collision filtering. Now we're gonna handle other things.